What's going on, guys? It's the Red Swish. We got another tactics video that I would love to bring to you guys. This time I'm going to be showcasing the 4-2-3-1, a tactic that I've kind of gone back and forth with for a while, but I feel pretty confident when I use it. This is the team that I use, more or less. A lot of the players are kind of changing out right now, but in a 4-2-3-1, this is kind of what it would look like in game. And I'll show you the custom tactics and instructions here. So what you need to know about this formation is that it's definitely one of the most balanced formations. You've got CDMs, you've got wide players, and you have a striker and a center attacking mid. So it's got a little bit of everything. So as such, the defensive style that I like to stick with when I play this formation is the balanced. Sometimes I switch to pressure on heavy touch, but I feel like getting away with balanced is just okay. It just keeps everyone in the right shape. The shape of this tactic is so solid from the get-go. You try not to throw that off a little bit too much. But if you prefer playing more of a pressing style, switch over to pressure on heavy touch. I try to tell people not to go for the press after possession loss. I just don't think it really helps out too much. I think the through ball is so powerful right now. You're just kind of asking yourself to concede goals. But we'll stick with that for now. We go with the 5 width and we play a 7 depth. Sometimes I go up to an 8 or a 6. I don't really feel much of a difference. It's just better to keep it a little bit on the higher side. Try to win the ball back early. Offensively, of course, we go with the long ball style. It's just the best one right now. Through balls are the best way to get forward. And with this, your strikers will be making lots of good runs. I think it's the best way to go on offense. We go with the 5 width, 5 for players in the box as well. And then corners and free kicks, I usually keep these on 2 or 1. You always want to try and keep this number on the lower side, just so you're not getting too vulnerable on the counter off of set pieces, because I find I concede a lot when that happens. Into the actual player instructions, they're going to be very simple, but I'll walk you kind of through what you need for these. For the striker, we keep them on get in behind as well as stay forward. That's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to want someone fast here, someone that can catch on to the end of the through balls. Obviously, you play your best forward here, the guy who you want getting the most goals. They'll be in the best position for that. For the cam, I haven't touched anything at all on this one, actually. I used to have him on stay forward, but I find it doesn't make much of a difference, and it's nice if he can help win the ball out once in a while. You'll always have an outlet with your striker, and with long ball and get him behind, you'll always have a way to just send a through ball and hope that it goes through. Right attacking mid and left attacking mid both have the same instructions. They're both on comeback on defense as well as get into the box for cross. This is a pretty standard thing a lot of people are doing now. You have your wingers on comeback on defense just to increase the solidity at the back. And then for get into the box, it just helps if one is running down one wing. The other one will then make a run right into the other side of the box. Opens up a lot of spaces for those overpowered low crosses if you guys use those. For the CDMs, there's 2 ways to kind of use these cards. For one, you're definitely going to want them on stay back while attacking, cover center, and cut passing lanes. This is obviously your best ball winner. This is the guy that's going to snuff out most of the attacks. He's not going to join the attack himself, but he will get the ball going forward. With the other CDM, there's 2 options you can kind of use. One, you can also keep him on stay back while attacking and cut passing lanes and cover center. So you have basically a 2-man wall at the back here. Or if you want to play a little more attacking, this is how I would play it. I switch to the balanced attack. It just gets one more number going forward. I find center mids that make deep runs can really tear a defense apart sometimes. So I think it's always good to have one of your CDMs on balance just to help out and add another option. Center backs, always on default. I don't think I ever have to touch anything here. Have them on stay back. And then with our fullbacks, we have them both on stay back while attacking and on overlap as well. Pretty standard stuff. You don't want them joining the attack too much. You'll be okay with the width with your right mid and left mid here. So you really don't need them coming forward, and you got to protect yourself on the counter. So these guys have to stay back. So that's the standard 4-2-3-1 I would use. If you're ever looking for a more defensive style of the formation, I'll show you the one that I use as well. So this is more if you want to hold a lead, or if you're trying to control the game a little bit. Definitely want to stay on balance this time. You're going to lower the depth down to a 4. Just feels like a safer number. It's not as attacking, this one, but it is a little better for controlling the tempo. So for that reason, we switch to the possession style. We're going to have everyone start to come in a little bit closer. You can hold the ball better that way. In terms of actual changes to the player instructions, there's only 2 changes that I actually make for this one. It's mainly on the custom tactics that we make a difference. But in the player instructions, we're going to have our striker now on comeback on defense, as well as the cam on comeback on defense as well. Believe me, you won't notice your striker all the way in your box or anything like that. It's not that crazy, but he will come back into the midfield a little bit, and it can make the difference when you're trying to hold on to a lead. So I suggest doing that. Same exact reasoning for the cam. They're not going to end up playing right beside your goalie, but they are going to add an extra body. So you like to do that. Center mid, I still keep on balanced just because when you're playing the possession style, if he can do some 1-2s and get a little forward, it still gives you another option to score. Obviously, if you're really trying to hold on to the lead, don't hesitate. Switch him back to stay back while attacking as well. You'll have plenty of numbers behind the ball. Defense stays exactly the same. None of them are coming forward. And for the goalie, I don't think I touched on the goalie in the first one, but we keep them on comes for crosses. That just kind of helps. I find when I play a lot of people these days, they're cutting down the wings, and having a goalie come out early and try to stop the crosses has saved me a few goals. Okay, so now what do you do when you need a goal at the end of the game? Maybe you're like me and you're terrible at penalty shootouts and you want to just get a goal before it reaches that point. This is the tactic I switched to. It's very aggressive. It's very open at the back. If you don't score, there's a good chance you'll concede, but that's how you got to play sometimes to make stuff happen. So we start off with the constant pressure. You can switch to press after possession loss, but you're trying to just be relentless and get the ball as quick as possible. I say to stay on constant pressure. The depth is now up to an 8. Honestly, you can go max depth. You can go as insane as you need to when it's like this. You really got to just win that ball as quick as possible so you can get that goal. We stay with the long ball. Like I said, through balls are the way to go, and the long ball will still be productive when you're trying to chase a goal. We've got the team nice and wide, and we add more players in the box and more players on set pieces. We're less worried about conceding on the counter because we're clearly trying to score a goal ourselves. As for player instructions, there are quite a few changes. We'll start with the striker. He stays on get him behind, but he's also on stay forward again. For our cam spot, they're also on stay forward now and get into the box for cross. We're trying to throw more numbers in there. Our 2 wide mids shift from get back on defense now to the default defensive support. We don't need them coming back as much. We want them to stay a little bit higher on the pitch, but not as high up as our striker and our cam. And we keep them for get into the box for cross as well. Center mids, I still keep one on stay back while attacking. You are free to switch it over to balance, but I think stay back while attacking is still okay because we actually are switching our more attacking center mid to get forward. So this way we'll have, 5 people minimum joining the attack. I don't really think we need this guy in here. He'll just help us out a little bit more defensively, and I'll tell you why in a second. Going on to the center backs, not much has changed, still stay back while attacking. And for our fullbacks, we actually switch them over to join the attack now, as well as keeping them on overlap. We do this just so that we're getting extra numbers out there, able to throw in some more crosses. That's why it's important to keep one of your CDMs on stay back while attacking still. That way, at least if your fullbacks are joining the attack, at least you have 3 guys that are going to stay back there no matter what, might be able to snuff out an attack before they get their counter going. But yeah, that's basically it. It's not the main formation I'm running right now, but it is a fun one. It works for a lot of different play styles. So if you play a more possession style, there's lots of options to pass to. If you play the long ball, it'll work great as well. Even for a counter-attacking style, this formation could even sit deep very well. It's still got lots of defensive-minded players. It's one of the most balanced formations in FIFA for a reason, and I can see why it's one of the most used as well. But anyways, thanks for watching. If this video helped you out whatsoever, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see my takes on any other tactics, let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.